Welcome to the Devastator portion of my pre-release skill tree builds for Outriders. The Devastator is the tank class of Outriders, the shield to our Captain America, the bodyguard to our Whitney Houston, or something like that, I don't know, it basically protects us. The build is based around using the Devastator in the Paladin role, someone who can soak up damage and send it back the other way while blessing his allies with holy light, or impaled bodies on giant spikes in the Devastator's case. So welcome to the Paladin Magneto build for Outriders Devastator. The skills we will be using here are the Golem skill, damage reduced by 65% for 8 seconds, the Reflect Bullet skill, reflect all projectiles back at enemies, and finally Impale, hit enemies with large spikes from the ground, inflicting bleed. If the enemy dies, they are impaled on the spike, giving allies a huge armor and health regen buff around the impaled enemy. So what are the key goals of the build? Number 1, stop as much damage as possible getting to your back line. We will be using the Reflect Bullets ability and face tanking enemies to soak up as much damage as possible. Number 2, have as much armor and damage mitigation as possible so you are a true bullet sponge. And number 3, have your Impale skill hit as hard as possible so it can kill, because when it kills an enemy it gives a massive armor and health regen buff to your allies. What this means is the Devastator can create a safe zone on any part of the map next to the impaled dead body of an enemy. It's basically like when the English kings used to put the heads of their enemies upon sticks on the Tower of London to scare off the rebels, except you get a huge buff to your pogness if you stand next to the head. It's basically the same thing. Key mods for this build are initially Impaler, which gives you 1 extra charge of Impale, and later on in the game Ultimate Impaler, which allows for 2 extra charges, thus 3 charges in total. This is going to be really important to remember when it comes to your skill rotations. A key piece of this build allowing you to create safe zones for your team to do damage from. Special shout out to the mod Rivers of Blood, which increases the damage of your Impale by a whopping 50% to enemies inflicted with bleed, which is exactly what the Devastator skills and melee do. Okay, so onto the skill tree. Okay, so let's talk skill tree then. So the Devastator comes with an inherent 15% increase in health and 30% increase in armor. We're going to be going down the seismic shifter path and we're going to talk through each choice. Let's start with some minor upgrades. So we have Anomaly Power. This will boost the damage of your Impale, followed by the decrease in cooldown of the Impale skill. Then we're going for Anomaly Power again, same reason as before. Activating a protection skill increases anomaly power by 45%. Now this is why we're going to run 2 protection skills. One to boost our own effectiveness as a tank, and secondly to increase our Impale power at all times. So we should always be having a 45% anomaly power increase to our Impale, and thus being able to pull off the buffs for our teammates every time we Impale. So moving on to a couple of minor increases. So we've got the pure anomaly buff that just makes us a bit more tanky, and then we've got the anomaly power buff, which gives us again bonus damage to our Impale. Going south here, we've got the skilled cooldown for our Impale as well, and then more anomaly power. But I'm just going to rewind a little bit and go up to this major upgrade here. Increases the distance considered to be close range by 4 meters. This is called Stone Circle. Increases armor by 7% for each enemy in close range. As you can see, these synergize really well and will increase your tankiness massively. On top of that, your heals come from close range kills as well, so this is going to buff how much healing you can get and what it classifies as close range kills. Going on back down into the minor list, we've got the increased damage by 20% against enemies below 30% health. This is really important because you need your Impale to kill, and when enemies are on lower health, we need the Impale to be killing them, impaling them, and buffing the whole team with the buff, which you can only get if Impale kills the enemy. Going forward from here, more anomaly power as well as increased bleed damage, and this is a big one. You are healed for 35% of the damage caused by bleed. This is why we are going to pick a couple of bleed damage bonuses. When back up the line, we're going to have 6% skill leech, which will give you more heal off your bleed and off your Impale. And then we've got a big major skill increase here, which is increases armor by 40% of your anomaly power. And now you'll see why we've been picking up the anomaly power bonuses. Protected by the anomaly is a great pickup. Going back, we've got a granddaddy bonus here, which is any skill. When it ends, increases armor and resistances by 20% for 10 seconds, really giving you that huge buff to your tankiness. Further on down, we've got more bleed damage, which again will come in nicely with the heal on your bleed damage, and finally 50% bonus to skill damage on your Impale. So here what you can see is that you've got a great little synergy of skills here. You've got 2 protection skills, which when you pop one will make your Impale much stronger. If you space out the use of the Impales, you'll be able to make use of that damage bonus all the time. So you should be able to pop a protection skill, pop an Impale. When that protection skill ends, pop another protection skill, pop your Impale again. By that time, your other Impale will be off cooldown and you have another protection skill good to go. And this is going to be a nice little rotation of skills and damage that you're going to have. And every time you kill an enemy with an Impale, your teammates will thank you massively. And that is it really for the Devastator build. It's a very simple breakdown of a really focused build that allows you to roleplay as a specific type of character, a pseudo paladin in the grim world of Outriders. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you enjoy playing that build. I think it'd be really fun to play and gives you the feeling of being a Paladin Magneto, X-Man extraordinaire in this game. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please hit us a like. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm massively. And other than that, take care and we'll see you around very soon. Release is in less than 48 hours.